Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to do a lesson on counting. How many of us know how to count? I do. Raise your hand if you know. All right. Okay, so our lesson today, we're first going to start off with some key vocabulary. So the key vocabulary that I have are, so the first word is counters. So today we're just going to use some pens and pencils that we have in the classroom for our counters. So I have a few pencils that we will use as counters. I pass them around, all of that. The next thing is manipulatives. There's also, you can use counters for these, you can use your fingers for these. We're going to start off with using our fingers because everybody has 10 fingers, right? Alright, so we're going to start off with learning how to count on our fingers. This is the first step to counting, and the more you get used to counting, you'll be able to count in your head, you'll be able to count with, counters and things like that. Pencils, for example, pens, bingo chips, anything like that. So, I'm going to go over a few examples with you, and then I'm going to put some on the board, and we're going to do that together as well, okay? So the first thing I want us to do is hold up all of our 10 fingers. And I want us to count, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. And I'm actually going to write 1 through 10 on the board, and we're going to count together as we write them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And again, I'm going to go over these one more time so that we have these memorized and refreshed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, I would like us to, again, get our hands ready. We're going to use our hands to do a few problems. So the first problem that I'm going to write down, I'm going to erase these. We're going to do 1 plus 1 equals. So if I have one finger and I add one more finger to that, how many fingers do I have total? Alright, so we have 2 fingers total. We have 1 and 2. So this tells us that 1 plus 1 equals 2. So what about if we had 2 plus 2? What would be 2 plus 2? So if I had 2 fingers and I added 2 more, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. Alright, let's do another one. Let's do 3 plus 3. So I have 3 fingers, and I add 3 more to it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 plus 3 gives me 6 total. Alright, and now we're going to do a bigger one. So if I have 5 plus 5, so if I start off with 5 fingers and I add 5 more, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 5 plus 5 gives me 10. Now, the older you get, you're not going to want to count your fingers like we're doing right now. But the older you get and the more counting you do, you'll be able to count in your head. Like, I know 2 plus 2 equals 4. And I know 1 plus 1 equals 2. So let's try one that you have not an equal amount on each hand. So if we have 6 plus 6, So I have 6 fingers, and I add 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 6 plus 6 gives me 12. Okay, and I'm going to write a few problems up here that I also want us to try to do mentally if we can. If you can't do it mentally, use your fingers. So what about if I had, let's see, so if I have 3 plus 2 equals, so automatically I think, okay, I have 3, so I'm going to add 2, so 3, 4, 5. So 3 plus 2 gives me 5. So what about if we have 4 plus 3? So I know I start off with 4, and if I want to add 3 to my already existing 4, so I'm thinking 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 plus 3 gives us 7. Alright, and now I'm going to add some problems on the board that we can do with our pencils or any type counters or anything like that. So I'm going to do again 1 plus 1. And we know the answer to that one, right, guys? We know 1 plus 1. We know the answer, right? So I want you to get your pencils out. So if I have one pencil and I want to add another pencil to it and I want to get the total, how many do I have? So I know 1 plus 1 is 2 because I have 1, 2. So this is just an example of using your manipulatives or counters to show you how to count as well. So again, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Now let's try 3 plus 2, which we know up here we have 3 plus 2 equals 5, right? But we want to use our counters to demonstrate this. So I'm going to have 3, so I have 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 already, and I want to add 2 more to it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that tells me right there that 3 plus 2 equals 5. Okay. I'm now going to put on the board some problems that I want you to do yourself. And once you finish these problems, I raise your hand, I'll walk around and check them, and then we will all go over it together as a class at the end, okay? Okay, so the problems I have written out on the board for you to do, and if you'd like to work with your shoulder partner, that's fine with me. If not, that's okay too. But I have 1 plus 1, and you give me the answer for that one. 3 plus 1, 5 plus 2, 6 plus 3, 5 plus 4, 9 plus 1, 7 plus 4, 8 plus 2, and 5 plus 1. So I'd love for you to work on those right now, and then we'll go over them as a class. So this will be the time that the students would work independently or with their shoulder partner, whatever they choose, to do these problems, and then we'll come back together and join as a class to go over the answers. Okay, boys and girls, is everybody finished? Give me a thumbs up if you're finished. Give me a thumbs down if you're not. Okay, I see a lot of thumbs up. Okay, so we're going to go over the answers. So 1 plus 1, so if I have 1 and I add 1 to it, what does that give me? It gives me 2, right? What about if I have 3 and I want to add 1 to it? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 plus 1 gives us 4. What about if I have 5 and I want to add 2 to it? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 plus 2 gives us 7. What about if I have 6 and you have to use both your hands? So 6 plus 3, so 1, 2, 3, gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 6 plus 3 gives me 9. What about 5 plus 4? So I'm starting with my 5. I'm going to add 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 plus 4 gives me 9. What about if I already have 9? So I have 9. I want to add 1 to it. How many does that give me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 9 plus 1 gives me 10. And so we're going to try to do these last 3 either in our head or try not to use our fingers, okay? So if I have 7 and I add 4, so I know that 7 plus 3 gives me 10, right? So if I have 10, I'm going to add 1 to 10, that gives me 11. So 7 plus 4 gives me 11. What about 8 plus 2? So I know I have 8 and I need to add 2 to the problem. So 8, 9, 10. So this is kind of using like the counting up method. If you want to count up instead of like using your fingers, you can count up in your head. So 8 plus 2 gives us 10. And what about 5 plus 1? I know I have 5, and what if I add 1 to it? What comes after 5? 6. So 5 plus 1 gives us 6. Alright, is everybody understanding that okay? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Alright, I see a lot of thumbs up out there. Okay, I would love for you to go home and tell 2 people what you have learned today. And I'd also love you to practice some of these problems at home. Practice counting on your fingers. Practice counting in your head. The more practice you have, the better you're going to get. So I'd love for you to go home and practice and then come back tomorrow and let me know if there's anything you're struggling with. Using your fingers to start is a great tool to have. You can add with your fingers, subtract with your fingers. Eventually you won't need them, but to begin with, it's a great tool to have. So I'd love for you to go home and tell 2 people something you've learned today, and as well, practice some of these problems, okay? Thank you.